Hello, this is Dawnafe Whitesinger, Navajo County Supervisor for District 5. Welcome to Navajo County Connection. Today we have a special guest with us, Stephanie Ray, who will talk to us a little bit about what she does for Navajo County and how we better serve our communities. And welcome, we're grateful to have you today. I will just let you jump in, and why don't you start with telling us a little bit about yourself and then a little bit about the program.
Great, thank you. I really appreciate you having me on today. So I am the Executive Director of the Local Workforce Development Board. The statewide workforce system is known as Arizona at Work. Been with the county for about 6 years and get to serve not only Navajo County but also Apache and Gila counties as well. We are the overseers of the workforce development system. The Workforce Board is considered the chief architect of the workforce development system. There are 12 local areas in the state, and so like I said, ours encompasses these 3 counties here. The main purpose of a workforce board is to really strategize around ensuring that employers have the job seekers that they need. And so we work with the kind of the triangle of the workforce development system are the employers, training providers, and the job seekers. And so it's our job to make sure that those job seekers and employees are trained in the manner that the employers need to be able to ensure that there's a good quality workforce in the area.
So do you seek out, or businesses come to you, or do you go directly to businesses and ask them if they'd like to participate in this? And when they're looking, do they come to you with specific skills that they're seeking to have, I guess, that they want their employees to have in order to be able to work for their particular organization or business?
Yeah, so those are great questions. We wish that more employers would come to us, but we often say that we're the best kept secret. A lot of employers don't know about us or about the services that we offer. And so we do have, I just recently have brought on in the last year a deputy director of stakeholder engagement, Kathleen Smith, and so she's been out in the community convening stakeholders, including employers, to try and get that understanding of what the employers are looking for. What are those skill sets? Where are the gaps? What is needed? And we've really had some telling data come through. You know, it's been interesting to learn what those needs are. We thought that with such a large area that we would focus on 5 subregions within the 3 counties. And so we've got 2 in Navajo County. We've been focusing on North Navajo County and South Navajo County. And the interesting thing is that the comments are pretty much the same, and it really revolves a lot around those soft skills. That there's a big gap in customer service skills and just general career literacy. And so we're trying right now to start developing some programming that might help engage existing employees as well as those that are looking for work.
So what type of businesses do you partner with or do you serve?
Well, anything from a small business really into those larger employers. We have focused on one of the requirements is that we look at labor market information. And so we determine those in-demand industries and occupations and really focus training efforts there. And so we really broadened that scope. We had 5 in-demand industries until last year, and we actually broadened that. And so healthcare, of course, is an in-demand industry everywhere, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. We also have manufacturing. We have construction and mining industries. We have we created a customized wood products industry recently that includes forestry occupations as well as manufacturing such as sawmills. And then we also created a custom hospitality and tourism industry, focusing on certain occupations within those to get employees trained up.
Wow. So how many, I guess, people are you training right now?
So the Workforce Board has a subcontractor that provides those program services, and at any given time we have between 50 and 100 people in training throughout the 3-county region. We partner very closely with Northland Pioneer College. We also provide what's called on-the-job training, and so we can work with employers to develop a training program specific to an occupation, and then when we place participants in those occupations depending on the skill level, for the first 8 to 12 weeks of the job, the employer can actually be reimbursed 50% of the wages. And so it really helps to mitigate that cost of turnover and hiring. And it also allows the employer to benefit from those soft skills conversations that the program case managers can have with participants to help them, integrate into a higher skill level job.
And I could see how that would be beneficial to an individual who's seeking a job. Because oftentimes when you're going out, maybe you're changing careers, or I don't know, maybe you studied architecture and that's not something that you have an interest in. So you're trying to find that, I guess, area that you have an interest in, trying to find the skill sets and the classes and the courses. It can be overwhelming, but also it's very costly to do that. And so if an employer, or you have the ability to be able to support someone to go through that process, and the employer is able to work with that individual, what a benefit to both the employer and to the individual.
It really is. And one of the new things that we're working on is a career pathways initiative. And so what we're trying to develop is based on those in-demand occupations and industries, having something available to that job seeker that says, if you have this certificate, you can get this job. But if you go to training for this, you can get, you can move up a level, and this is your median wage change. You can make another couple dollars an hour. So we actually have an AmeriCorps Vista volunteer who's come on with us for a year, and he's working on developing an app that a job seeker can just go right on. And once they find what that pathway is that they're interested in, then they can connect in with those services and get that case manager that can help them guide them right through that process and see if they're eligible for some help with the training.
That's great. I think, one of the things that I learn over and over again is the resourcefulness of, the individuals within our communities, but the people who work for the county. There's always a need for something to make it easier for people who live in our community to get access to the services that we provide. So being able to look down the road and provide an app that can be useful to individuals to hone in on those particular careers or skill sets that will prove profitable for them. I think, what a benefit. I think, I don't know, growing up, I had one of those paper ones, and you send it off, or your teacher would say, and you were broken into quadrants or something. And, mine was always, I felt like it was off, well, maybe I cheated and didn't answer it correctly. So, because it never aligned with what I thought I should be. So, in thinking about, I guess, the benefits of this and how does it serve our communities, important for us to be thinking about, but also the pandemic and how it's impacted or maybe challenged being able to provide the services. What does that look like to you?
Well, it's really quite interesting, because I think in my experience with the pandemic, what it did was it emphasized problems that we already have providing services in a rural area. So we always had that issue of how do people get to us when we have so many transportation barriers. So prior to the pandemic, we had started building out a technology platform. And so while this Career Pathways app will be part of that, we've got this technology platform that actually we were able to find additional outside funding sources outside of our federal allotment and outside of county dollars to be able to develop this, because suddenly everyone could see that this was an issue, that we have to have a way to reach the job seeker and the employer via virtual services. And so it was actually, the silver lining was that it highlighted the need to do that. We work with a lot of colleagues at the state level, and so they're focused on these metro areas, and they couldn't quite understand some of the issues that we had until all of those job centers had to shut down. Yeah. And then how do we reach out and grab those people that now are suddenly unemployed in mass? And so it's really helped to solidify and move forward more quickly some of those initiatives that we had going, including this technology platform. So we're able to continue providing services regardless of location, transportation, a pandemic that closes offices.
Yeah. And have you seen that there's, or what does the impact look like to our communities as far as job availability? Do we have a higher rate of unemployment, or are we having businesses who are seeking out more individuals to be able to fill vacant positions?
So that's a great question without an easy answer, because the answer is both. I think that the biggest issue that we see now is that there is, and this has been true always, but I think that the gap is larger now. There's a gap between the skill set that the job seekers have and the needs of the employers. And so there are a lot of job listings. There is higher than pre-COVID unemployment, and yet it's hard to really ascertain the exact way to better match those. Because if you talk to job seekers, they will tell you that they have a hard time finding a job. And if you talk to employers, they will tell you that they have a hard time finding the job seeker that matches their criteria. So we're really working hard to bridge that gap.
So say I'm unemployed and I'm seeking to be employed somewhere. Could you help someone who walks through your door to be able to help them find a company that might be able to hire them?
Absolutely. So we have job centers throughout the county. We have a new job center in Show Low that is at the Meadowview complex at 1500 South White Mountain Road. And it is not currently open to the public. We anticipate opening the doors. It's open by appointment only. And so there are phone numbers on the door, but also they can reach out to Mandy Black, and we'll provide those numbers at the end of the show, that she can, by appointment, start helping that person. Now, by the middle of March, we will have an intake specialist who will specifically be on hand, regular business hours, to be able to provide that assistance and do a very comprehensive intake to not only address, let me match you to an employer, but also, do you have other current needs, and give them direct connections into rental and utility assistance, food assistance, whatever their immediate need is, while still considering what's that employment plan.
So do you have a range of types of jobs available? So are they, basic skill level or an executive position?
So the Arizona Job Connection is our online database, and it pulls from several areas, as well as we have employers that directly ask us to post their jobs for them. And it's everything from entry level to physicians. And so there are a wide range of jobs available. And so a lot of times we can match somebody with an entry or a mid-level position while we're helping them get through training to get into a higher level career path.
Young people don't know how easy they have it. When she's talking, I was thinking about growing up and looking for a job and how difficult that was. You're a college student, you go to the message board and you look at and you read all of the messages to see if something fits you. Or you go to the newspaper and you get the business section and you circle the job that might align to you, and it's summarized in maybe 15 words or something like that. And so you call. And so, I just think, wow, what an opportunity for people to be able to be directly connected to something that could benefit them. And also, it's a benefit to the community to be able to help our local businesses to be able to remain strong, to provide the services that are needed within the community, and to give people the skill sets that they need so that those businesses can remain successful. That was just something that I was like, goodness, I wish I had this.
So, and again, we say we're the best kept secret, but really we are there to serve, and we do have a lot of great programs on both sides of the equation.
Yeah. My kids would have been like, Mom, don't tell everybody how old you are now.
You said college job board, and I immediately went to, when did they start those? Because I just remember the newspaper.
I love that. So one of the things that you mentioned here is nonprofit work. How does that align to what you do?
So what we did was we founded a nonprofit about 1.5 years ago to help really emphasize the job seeker side of things, to help find some additional funding resources for those other services I mentioned, right? A lot of times when somebody's unemployed, that's not the only issue. Just getting an employment tomorrow doesn't pay the bills that were due last week. And so we founded the Northeastern Arizona Community Resource Network, and we actually formulated a second board to be able to do some of that fundraising, go out and find some additional grant dollars, do some actual direct marketing fundraising locally to try and build up that side of things. We do have this federal allotment, but it's a real tight box of how we can use those funds. And I thought, well, we need to get some more money to be able to do more. And so we developed the nonprofit. The workforce board does not actually provide any programming. We are a facilitator, a leverager, a convener. We formulated the nonprofit to be much the same. So the nonprofit is building a framework around which social service agencies can better do their job. And it's kind of got a three-pronged approach. The technology platform I talked about. Physical empowerment centers. We're working on rehabbing a 16,000 square foot building that used to be a school, giving away my age. It was my elementary school. But we're working on that to be able to provide an empowerment center that really has all of those services available: on-site childcare, a veterans resource center, a job center, as well as some parent and family education type things. Some health department programs will be housed in there, at least part-time as well. And then the third prong is that facilitation arm. We want to reach out to all of the local community-based organizations and bring them into the network as affiliates. So they will have use of the data system, the technology platform that will provide data about the gaps in that service delivery. Also allow them to raise money via grant funding. We've got a board that's stacked with grant writers. And so the idea being that we've got the workforce board that really focuses on employers and the nonprofit board that really focuses on those job seekers and the families in the communities that we serve, and bringing those two together to really ensure that we are meeting all of the needs and that we can bring in that additional money to do so.
I think, again, this goes back to the whole finding resources that best benefit the people who live within our community. I think oftentimes we've seen over and over again where people may be penalized for maybe, you take a step back when you can't pay your bills that month. And you're not able to make a car payment, and then you're in a situation where you don't have transportation. And so all of these things add up to penalties to be able to find secure employment. And so being able to have resources like this to support individuals to go through that process to be gainfully employed, such a benefit to many. We think of families who might be struggling, it's a weight on parents to worry about, how are we going to feed our family? And so being able to provide them the resources to be able to do that in a way that they don't have to worry about those things, such a benefit. So it's great to hear about, the solid work that it's being done on behalf of the community. And again, it goes back to the success of the businesses and how, it's kind of like the cycle,
right.
And we are all benefiting in some capacity. Employers are getting stronger employees. Employees are being able to get a working wage to be able to provide for their families. And we hope that, we're providing individuals the direction or services that they need to be able to feel successful. So what a great thing. So I certainly appreciate that. How can residents help?
So I've talked about a lot of initiatives, and so we've got luckily a great team of professionals that we've put together over the last year. And so residents who are interested in helping with the nonprofit or finding out more about what we're doing with the Empowerment Center, Jimmy Hammond is the Deputy Director of Strategic Initiatives, and so she's handling the bulk of the nonprofit work. We also have a website, nacern.org. For those that are interested in obtaining employment or looking for those job seeker services, I mentioned the Meadowview Plaza Sholo Job Center, and Mandy Black can help those that are in the South County area. Those that are in the North Navajo County, we have some outreach locations within the health department offices in both Holbrook and Winslow, and so Mary Romero is available to help job seekers looking for some assistance there. Again, we'll post all of this, all of their contact information, and then businesses who are looking for more information or to help be part of this initiative to collect data about needs can reach out to Kathleen Smith. And so we've got a team that can help any of those in any of those ways that people want to engage.
Well, that's awesome. I think, it speaks to, one, if you're a business owner, where can you go to be able to find the employees that will best serve your business? If you're seeking a job, and someone that can connect to you, and that's important. So being able to have those services that will help those individuals find the job that fits them is so important. And all of in this looking to the future and being able to have this facility that can encompass all of those things to provide those services. And so if you are seeking a job or you are a business owner, please reach out to Stephanie Ray and others who serve within the community, and they would certainly be happy to help you. And I'm so grateful to all of you who work on behalf of the community to serve all of us within our community. What a wonderful thing. And so thank you for joining us today, and I appreciate it, and we will see you next time.